Hi guys, it's Joey. So this is the first of the promised Ogham readings for Miss Ginger Fyre, and this will probably be the first of two. I may do them back to back as I'm feeling quite in the zone for it right now. And to start off, I guess we'll do the precursor that we do each time. So the Ogham readings are my way of giving back to the community and saying thank you. It's something I can do which is for free, and it only costs me time and energy to give this back to the community as a thank you for the continued support and viewership and things of that nature. I will say that this is also somewhat of a learning experience for me, because for the Ogham I engage with them very strongly, particularly in sort of magical workings and spiritual workings, but this is to sort of practice my divination with the Ogham as sort of a divination form as well. So if you want to put your name down for a reading and are happy for it to be on video or not, please post down below on this or one of the other Ogham videos. I'm only going to do 1 or 2 a week. I think that's fair, given that it's a free reading and whatnot, and all the people who have already put their name down, their name is on a list, so I pick at random off the list each week. So this week is for, or the first of the Ogham readings this week is for Miss Ginger Fyre, and this is a very complicated reading. It feels like there is multiple factors at play here, and they might be pulling in different directions. Like there's indecision and perhaps different opinions from different people and things of that nature. So we're going with the 7 reading spread as always, because this is just how I feel most comfortable doing it. That generally gives us space to look at influences going from a past to present to a future stance, and it allows a sort of tapestry to come across a little bit better, a sort of interweaving of energies. 7 is also a spiritual number, a number of learning and teaching, and given that in our lives we fluctuate between both being a teacher and a student at all points during our lives, I think it really helps us to see the lessons that we need to learn. So the first Ogham, which is up the top there, here, is Mwen or Vine. In a past capacity. Mwen Vine is a strange card, or Ogham, in this circumstance. It's actually my birth Ogham, and I think it's a really odd little Ogham within itself, because it represents 2 very sort of distinct ideas that are both to do with the changing of consciousness. Like, one interpretation of it is a sort of merriment and alcohol style thing, and the other side of it is prophetic and psychic ability. The thing that connects everything to this Ogham is harvest and the sort of altering of state of self. It can be a personal harvest, the successful completion of something. For me, in this circumstance, it feels very much like the completion of one stage of life, or something which felt like once it was finished it was a particular stage of life that was complete. Very much tied to the second Ogham, and then distanced from the present day Ogham. If you can see, as I place them down, the third Ogham is spaced away from the first 2, as if current situations feel very separated from the past. Perhaps there was something in the past which feels like it was worth celebrating, a state of mind, a state of being, a state of psychic awareness, which seems in hindsight to be a better state of affairs than what things are now. Perhaps a sense of disconnection now, and the past seeming like a more bountiful place in some ways, or I need to revisit past lessons, and under present difficulties, sort of looking back with nostalgia and relearning the lesson and trying to tap back into the joy that was. The second one is Rowan, which is protective, control of the senses, the strength and sort of inward power, the repelling of all negativity. It's very protective. It's also known as the witch's tree. So it could be a feeling of, in the past, feeling more connected to your path, and the psychic openings and awarenesses raised by Moen, as well as the sort of witch's shield, the witch's strength that comes from Rowan. I'm just wondering if there has been somewhere a disconnection from spiritual path, or something that has come between you and your spiritual path in the present, where we have the reversed Ogham. Rowan is this sort of very steadfast, protective, vital, strong, healing Ogham. And when we look at the current Ogham reversed, which is On or Gorse is concerned with material possession, sexual energy, and the repelling of negative energy. And I just wonder if a circumstance has come to pass which has drained passion out, has left a feeling of being tired, and perhaps it's ill health, that has led to a disconnection of sorts from a sense of self. And in that is its own sort of lesson, a need for the repelling of negativity, a burning off of one's doubt and fears. I need to regather oneself and cleanse and purify out and reconnect to one's sense of self and purpose and self-worth. I've got that feeling that there is a need for, in the immediate present, a need for a cleanse, a need for a deep cleanse, a need for a reconnection. It's followed by Fern or Aldo, which is to do with prophecy, divination, intuition, remaining true to your ethics, as well as music and poetry. This can be ways in which you can reconnect, I'm guessing. This is the advice side of it, which is interesting enough, because the cards don't tend to do that. They can do that. They can offer a sort of a way of reconnection. It's basically saying that, you need the counsel, you need the guidance to reconnect back to yourself, and that is within you. And if you just listen to your intuition, that psychic guidance will come through and reignite your passion for whatever it is that has felt in the way, that has been blocking. And it may be that the reversed willow sail here is what has been blocking. A disconnection of emotional in sort of a really deep emotional hurt and or healing, depending on how you feel that willow connect. It's often to do with feminine energy, fertility, psychic powers, enchantment, intuition. I think it's a very strong healing Ogham personally, with its water connection, its lunar feel. And it could just be a feeling that you have been cut off from your divine feminine, and that can be within yourself, or on a more spiritual basis, that you've felt a bit lost of late. And these are all sort of indicators that, you know, you have that psychic ability, because that's a theme running through each of these first Ogham. Strongly, it's within each energy. It's like your ability to listen to the messages are right there, and they're really strong a gift there for sensing psychic energies, and your own ability is really, really there. Perhaps you're afraid of it, perhaps you've not felt as strongly connected to it of late because of strong female emotions, or a drain on vitality in some way. Going into the future, you have Code, which is the Sacred Grove, which is one of the new Ogham, and then Holly reversed. So Code is the sacred space, is the Sacred Grove, literally. It's where druids go to hear the messages of the gods. So it's basically saying you can absolutely do this. You know, you can absolutely reconnect with the divine messages that you feel that perhaps you've been disconnected from. And Code is a beautiful Ogham. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. It presents the idea of all the trees coming together in harmony, the great cycles of life, deity basically in all its glory, life being reborn and regrowth, and the cycles of life, death and rebirth in balance within the circle. Without hitting the camera, with the secrets, the mysteries. So the future going forward does talk about doing this thing, and then Holly reversed. Okay, you have two possible pathways going forward. One is Code and one is Holly reversed. So Holly reversed is a fear of a challenge, a fear of sorting out whatever it is, not wanting to deal with it, running away from it, rather than overcoming it. And then your Sacred Grove is the opposite. It's the completion, the reconnection, the understanding of what life's lessons are giving you, teaching you, and reconnecting with a sense of purpose. And it's not at all bleak, and the whole point of this reading feels very much like the power is within you, is in your hands, and it's just a choice that you need to make, and not be afraid of who you are, of your abilities, of the deep magic within yourself. And if there are outside factors trying to make you afraid of who you are, that could quite easily come into this as well. Like if you feel that your path and you are being made to doubt it by people who are outside, making you feel like you shouldn't be doing your spiritual path in one way or another, and are trying to fill you full of doubt and make you run away from yourself and make you fear, then that's something that needs to be addressed in terms of your own relationship to your spirituality, your life, your path, reconnecting with your ability to psychically sense who you are and not let anyone else tell you who you are. I think that's it. I will ponder a moment more. There's definitely a sense of conflict or confusion within the self in this reading. I was looking at it first like, oh, what? It didn't make sense to me until I sat and went through it, and I'm like, okay, I need for balance, a need for grounding, I need to purify out and protect in terms of spiritual magical work. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for this reading. I hope it was helpful, and many blessings.